This is my presentation on the Magnificent Seven. Let's get first. The Magnificent Seven is a classic Western film that revolves around the plight of a small, impoverished Mexican village under the threat of a group of bandits. In an effort to defend themselves, the villagers hire 7 American gunmen, each with unique skills to help them fight the bandits. The movie focuses on these 7 men as they work together to train the villagers and fortify the village against the bandits. It explores the personal dynamics within the groups and offers a fresh perspective on the Western genre. External conflicts, there's villagers versus bandits. This is the central conflict of the movie, and is between the impoverished villagers and the bandits who regularly raid their village. This conflict sets the stage for the entire narrative. There's the gunfighters versus the bandits. The villagers hire the gunfighters to protect them against the bandits, and this includes several skirmishes and the main battle. There's also cultural and social differences between the American gunfighters and the Mexican villagers, and this is explored throughout the movie, most prominently with the character Bernardo O'Reilly, who is half Irish, half Mexican, and they explore his internal conflict with the cultural differences. Some internal conflicts include Chris Adams' sense of responsibility. Chris grapples with the weight of leadership and responsibility of not only leading his team, but also protecting the villagers. His internal conflict resolves around making tough decisions that can affect the lives of his crew. There's Bernardo O'Reilly's identity struggle. As I said, he's half Irish, half Mexican, and this leads to him having a lot of thoughts and confusion over his own identity. And there's Vin Tanner's search for purpose. He originally joined the crew seeking money, but he finds himself feeling rejuvenated and passionate about the cause. Some internal conflict is Harry Luck's greed. He joins the crew looking for treasure, but he becomes passionate about the villagers themselves, and takes on a more selfless role by the end of the movie. There's Britt's quest for meaning. He does not know, he has these talents as a gunfighter, but he doesn't know the proper way to use them. And he sees this fight with the bandits as a proper use of his talents. There's Lee's battle with his past. Once the famous gunman, Lee is haunted by his past and struggles with feelings of inadequacy and feel of failure, which he overcomes by helping the villagers. Chico's impulsive nature. Chico is the youngest of the group, and throughout the movie you see him move from immature to responsible. There are several themes in the movie. Heroism and sacrifice is one prominent one for sure. There's by the end of the movie you can see there's a lot of sacrifice by the gunfighters, even some of them losing their own lives, and they spend a lot of time and resources helping out these villagers. The theme of redemption is a huge one in this movie. Several characters are seen redeeming themselves for their past actions by helping these villagers, and it's kind of seen as a moral, like, repaying of debts for a lot of these gunfighters. There's unity and solidarity. All the gunfighters work together with the villagers to help defend their village, and the village is seen as the point that everyone kind of unifies around. There's also cultural integration and respect. There's a lot of confusion about respect or the cultures of the villagers and the bandits and the gunfighters, but by the end of the movie, they pretty much all come together to respect each other. Some others include moral complexity and personal struggle. Each character deals with personal demons or moral dilemmas. This moral conflict can be seen in arguments, and throughout the movie, you can see the internal conflict within each of the gunfighters, and the nature of violence and consequences. The movie doesn't glorify violence, but uses that as a tool to show the gravity of these events, and to add some more feeling of consequence throughout the movie. The transition from youth to adulthood, that's most clearly seen in Chico, but can also be seen in the village children as they deal with their village being raided by these bandits and the possibility of them getting hurt or dying. Some characters in the movie include Chris Adams. He is the leader of the group, and he's characterized by his calm demeanor and strategic mind. He is the driving force behind organizing the defense of the village and serves as a moral center for the group. There's Vin Tanner, who is second in command and is known for his charm and sharpshooting skills. He becomes Chris's right-hand man and plays a crucial role in both fighting and organizing the villagers. There is Bernard O'Reilly, who is half Irish, half Mexican. He is very skilled, but he also offers a unique perspective. There's Harry Luck, who initially joins the mission searching for money, but by the end is seen as a very compassionate, capable man who really cares about the village. There's Britt, who is a man of few words. He is renowned for his knife-throwing skills, and his calm demeanor and fighting prowess make him a valuable member of the group. There's Lee, who was once famous and battles with his own personal feelings of inadequacy since I guess his prime ended, but now he finds himself rejuvenated and sees himself in a new light as someone who can help these villagers. There's Chico, who's the youngest, and you can see themes of immaturity with him through the movie. Getting away from the seven, the main antagonist in the movie is Calvera, who leads the group of gunmen, and he's very aggressive and offers a contrast between the empathetic gunmen. There's the old man who is seen in several scenes negotiating with the gunmen. He's the one that initially decided to approach them in helping them guard their village. There's Petra, who is a woman of the village and is seen involved with the gunmen, most prominently involved with Chico. There's also Hilario, who is a leading figure in the village. He is instrumental in making decisions to hire the gunfighters and actively involved in organizing the village's defenses. Some actors in this movie, Chris Adams is played by Yul Brynner. Vin Tanner is played by Steve McQueen. Bernard O'Reilly is played by Charles Bronson. Harry Luck is played by Brad Dexter. Britt is played by James Coburn. Lee is played by Robert Vaughn. Chico is played by Horst Buchholz. Calvera is played by Eli Wallach. Old Man is played by Vladimir Sokolov. Petra is played by Rosenda Monteros. And Hilario is played by Jorge Martinez de Hoyos. The director of this movie is John Sturges. He's a film director whose work spanned from the 1940s to the 1970s. He built a reputation for being a master of action and suspense, and he's especially renowned for his contributions to the Western genre. His directorial style was characterized by fast pacing, action-packed narratives with masculine characters. His films often featured ensemble casts. Regarding his work in Magnificent Seven, this movie was originally a remastering or reimagining of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai and follows the same plot but seen in the Western genre outside of the Japanese. And his attitude towards the Magnificent Seven was one of dedication and ambition. He aimed to make the film a cinematic experience that was both engaging and visually striking. He did not just see this movie as a Western, though, and saw this as an opportunity to reveal deeper truths about the human nature. He aimed to make this movie visually striking, and a lot of the cinematics of this movie still stand up today. But The Magnificent Seven ended up being one of his most touted movies and earned him a spot in American cinema history. This movie was composed by Elmer Bernstein, who is an American composer known for his extensive work in film and television scoring. He's from New York and began his musical career at a young age, showing a strong talent for the piano and composition. He originally pursued a career in concert music, but shifted to film scoring in the 1950s. His conducting in The Magnificent Seven redefined the landscape of the Western film genre with its bold, adventurous melody and rousing orchestration. The score for this movie became synonymous with the spirit of the American West. This style influenced numerous Western films that followed. For this movie, Bernstein parted ways with the common scores seen in Western films at this time, and infused the score with a vibrant energy that was both grandiose and nuanced, capturing the epic scale of the story and the individual journey of the characters. The film's main score became so popular that it transcended the movie itself and became part of the larger pop culture scene and can be seen in other movies. He skillfully used different musical cues and motifs to represent various characters and themes of the movie. This technique helped in developing the characters' identities throughout the movie. I don't think. That's not gonna work. Just pause this, and I'll send you the links for the two videos. But the main title is the most famous piece from this movie. It is heroic, rousing, and it has become synonymous with Western adventure. It's characterized by a bold, brash melody and galloping rhythm, setting the tone for the film's themes of bravery and action. And while there are several other scores, the final battle is also significant and is intense and dynamic, highlighting the climax of the film. It combines elements of the main theme with a faster paced, more urgent musical phrase to heighten the action and drama. So this is the release and revenue. The film was released on October 23rd, 1960 in the U.S. It was distributed by United Artists. The Magnificent Seven originally actually received a lukewarm response at the domestic U.S. box office. However, gained a much stronger and more lucrative reception in Europe, especially in the Soviet Union. It gained more in the U.S. It gained more recognition over time, but the exact figures for the film's initial box office takings are challenging to pin down, as reporting from that era is not as comprehensive as it is to say. It is fair to say that the budget for this movie was $2 million, and it did turn a profit. The film's enduring popularity led to significant revenue from re-releases, television shows, home video sales, and merchandise, contributing to its status as a classic. Some fun facts. As I said, this movie was inspired by Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. There's some casting would have been. Before the final cast was chosen, several other big names were considered for roles in the films. Actors like Charles Bronson and James Coburn were not first choices for their respective roles. Actors like Sterling Hayden, Anthony Quinn, and even Marlon Brando were considered before them. Steve McQueen is seen throughout the movie stealing scenes. If you watch closely, you can see him like eating snacks or like flipping shotgun shells, and this is all in an attempt to gain more screen time as he wanted to progress his career. This is Yul Brynner's passion project, and he was a driving force behind getting the Magnificent Seven made. He was passionate about the project from the start and heavily involved in getting the film off the ground. Some personal thoughts on the movie. Are that I think this movie is more than just a prime example of the Western genre in its height. I think it's really blurry. I think it is a examination of the human nature, and I think it is through 7 different lenses, because each of the gunmen you can see immaturity in Chico, you can see every aspect of the human nature can be seen in one of these 7 gunmen. I think it's an interesting way to examine humans and the way they act and the way they interact with certain situations like the one presented to them with the villagers. I think the scoring of this movie is not only a separate aspect of the movie, but instead the heartbeat of the entire movie, and you can see that throughout the movie it really keeps it going and ties everything together. And you can, as separate characters go off on their own and get their own scenes, separate scores are given to them. And it gives identity to all the characters and identity to the movie itself. I thought themes like redemption and unity were really seen here well. There's a lot of selflessness shown in this movie, but it's not static. None of the characters are static. There's a lot of change seen in this movie, and I think that's valuable, as it shows that even in a different setting like the Wild West, even all the way back then, humans were still capable of change, and I think that's a good lesson for even audiences today. Just walking. That's my works cited. Thank you. Hope you're having a good day at school.